What's up, everyone? I'm Talentron Nian, here to bring you a Splatoon 2 NG Plus run, and I'm joined today by my lovely commentators. If you'd like to introduce yourselves.
Hey everybody, my name is Obamaster Ozzy. I also run this category as well as a smattering of others. Good to see you all.
My name is Nobab, and I also run this category in this game. Nice to meet y'all.
And let's just hop right into it. We'll explain how this category is going to go down as I get started. So let's go in 3, 2, 1, go.
It has begun. All right, so I guess I'll start off by explaining. So the root of this category, we're going to be doing all the levels on a completed file. And so this is going to be the fastest gameplay that you're going to see in this game. We're going to start off with level 3 here in World 1. Each world is separated by a loading screen, and since we spawn in World 1, we're going to be doing all those levels first. So the reason why we start off with level 3 here is because it's probably just the fastest, or sorry, the hardest one in the game. So we're just going to do it first to get out of the way. He's going to be starting with the Hero Dualies here. That's probably going to be the most frequent weapon that you will see in this run. And the Dualies is pretty useful just because it's the best for mobility. It's got a good fire rate, and it also has the dodge rolling mechanic, which we're going to see a lot in this run. Ooh, taking an unfortunate death there. That jump there is a little sharp because you're going to have to swim on top of that ledge there and jump from it. You don't have much room to work with. That's okay. Yeah, and the dodge rolling we're going to see a lot in this run. Let's see, and this is also going to be one of the first of many levels to have a global cycle, and it mostly consists of these ink pillars that are popping in and out, as you can see right there. So Ian's going to try to make the fastest cycle. Yeah, we usually just do this level over and over again until we get the best cycle. So a lot of resets can happen here. As you can see right here, he's going to dodge roll into these boost pads to try to reach them faster. Break those boxes, try to get the cycle right here. That one's a bit tricky because those ink pillars pop in and out pretty quickly, so it's tough to find the right time to go through. And that concludes the very first level.
You might be wondering, well, streamer, you're supposed to be top level at this game. Why'd you die in level 3? Level 3 is one of the most reset heavy levels in like any category for this game, and I go for some pretty risky movement, so the fact that I died trying to do one of the corner jumps does not surprise me. Anyway, we're going into level 2, and this time we're equipped with the Hero Shot. The Hero Shot, compared to the Dualies, has more range and a higher fire rate, and that's going to be useful for levels where we have to go and take out a bunch of enemies. We're also going to see these ink balloons right here. You shoot an ink balloon and it will do a massive ink explosion, which will be useful for climbing up all sorts of walls. We've also got these sponges. You shoot the sponge, it expands, gives you a path to go on. There'll be lots of them in this stage. You'll also be seeing a lot of curling bombs in this stage. This is one of our sub-weapons, and by pressing the R button, it'll give us a straight line of ink to go forward in. There's 2 other sub-weapons as well, the Splat Bomb and the Auto Bomb. The Splat Bomb you'll be seeing quite a bit. It's pretty useful for fights and one of the tricks that will be in the next level. And the Auto Bomb, not so much, but it has a couple of places that you'll see. And now we got this fight section right here. I'm just going to try to steady my aim, taking out all of these enemies.
Yeah, and this section right here is part of the reason why we switched to Hero Shot. That little bit of extra range and fire rate really helps us to kill those enemies more efficiently.
That's correct, yeah. And
yeah, that's what I was going to say earlier. The Hero Shot has a slightly longer range than the Dualie does, and the fire rate is a bit better, so it's definitely good for taking out enemies pretty quickly, as you saw there. When you're climbing up the sponge there, it's easier to go on the side there than on the front, just because we can kind of just run up one wall instead of just hopping, moving forward, then moving up, then moving forward again.
Yeah,
and then we're going to be going into... There. Yeah, it's much easier to do that. It's a little faster. And we're going into level 1 next. Nobelman, you want to take the stage away?
Sure. So at the very beginning of this stage, we're going to do a little corner cut to avoid taking a path around the left side. But there's also going to be a trick coming up in this stage where we crush a Splat Bomb under a box. And by doing that, it'll explode the bomb immediately and allow us to break all the boxes, which will allow us to deal with the enemies that are on top of them really efficiently. Right here, we're about to see it coming up.
I will just slide that one under the boxes, and that helps me clear out that section just much faster.
Very nice. Super clean.
And we're also going to see another trick in the run used very frequently. Right here, there's this key that Ian's going to grab, and he's going to substrafe to try and it's going to change his momentum so that he can just immediately double back right after grabbing it. Without the substrafe, you would basically just be like stuck there for a moment, and you wouldn't be moving very quickly.
Yes, the thing about substrafing is that not only will it let you change your momentum quickly, but it'll also let you get to top speed a lot faster too than just swimming normally. So when you're starting like sharp turns, a substrafe is quite optimal. You'll also see the same concept done with the weapons as well. That's a shot strafe. It's a little bit slower, but in a couple of places, it just makes more sense than pulling out a sub. And right here, you'll see that one of these enemies has a key, and it opens up this thing called a lockbox. Just lets us get to another launch pad, and the end of the stage is right there.
Yep, the key will always be in the same enemy every time. So if, so we're always gonna know where it is. Plus, with the heavy fire rate that the hero shot is, it's pretty easy just to take out all the enemies and find out where the key is. So next we're going into the first boss, and we're going to be pulling out the charger. You're only going to see 3 weapons in the run: the shot, the dualies, and the charger. Now the reason why we use the charger quite a few times is the range and accuracy it has. And one of the first examples we're going to see right here. So what we normally have to do with this boss is the attacks are pretty predictable. But at the end of every phase, he is going to let us try to climb on top of him and shoot a tentacle. But with the charger, we can just whoop, shoot the tentacle right on top there without having to climb on top of him at all. Pretty much ending the phase instantaneously. And there's not much else with this boss. The attacks are pretty much the same every time. So I think we can open up to some donations here.
All right, we have a $100 donation from Valthus. This says, wow, I had a very long day at work, and I don't think there's a better way to get back home to see the first $1 million has been passed. Let's set some record donation numbers. I couldn't agree more. Do we have time for a couple more?
For sure.
We do one more.
All right. We got Splatmoss donating $250, saying, Splatoon 2 run on my birthday? Woo me! I think a good present would be unlocking the Resident Evil Village run so my fiance can see one of her favorite games run too.
Happy birthday, man. All right, good. We're going to be going into World 2 next. Let's see, this next level is going to be level 6, and a recent trick was actually discovered pretty recently, actually. Nobubin, do you want to explain this one?
Sure. So Ian covered it in an interview earlier on today, but basically, we're not going to be seeing this trick in the run since it's really difficult to pull off, especially in a marathon setting. But basically, moving platforms in this game give you momentum whenever you jump on top of them, and we can use a platform like resetting back to its original position to barely make a jump and hit a grappling right next to the Zapfish. And it saves about 30 seconds in this stage, but like I said, it's really difficult to pull off here, so we won't be seeing it today.
Yeah, that trick took the IL time in the stage down from 59 seconds to 29 seconds. Literally cut the stage in half. But even that being said, that 59 seconds has another skip at the end that we're going to see. Kind of one of the oldest skips in the book that we originally, I think, saw from Nintendo themselves when they did a speedrun of the stage. It's on speedrun.com and everything. You can go check that out. But what we'll do, we just picked up a Stingray earlier. This thing's got infinite range, and this fan, we can drag the platform closer towards us and hit this grappling. And that lets us get to the end of the stage without doing most of that ending. Saves about 20 seconds.
It's a pretty cool skip. That's probably the biggest one that you're going to see throughout the run. Mostly the rest of the run we're just be kind of cutting corners everywhere we see, but it's still a pretty cool skip. Let's see, next level we got is level 7 here. Going to be switching back to the dualies. There, he kind of just, fell down to level 7 since it was right there. Usually, we'll super jump to each level just by using the menu. There will be some times when just walking to the next level is faster just because there's some instances where it's right there. So we can just walk to it. But right here, this is the first stage that we're going to see the giant squeegees. These guys, they're probably our biggest frenemies in the run. We have a love-hate relationship with them. We need them to guide us throughout the stage. We can't complete the stage without them. But their behavior is slightly RNG sometimes. Thankfully, we can manipulate them with our sub-weapons. Curling Bomb is probably the most useful one just because since it goes into a straight line, it's very easy for kind of guiding the squeegees to where we want to go. In this stage, we're not too bad, but they can get a bit annoying in the later stages, but we'll get to that.
This one does not want to cooperate with me right now, but that will
right
do.
There. You just decide, no, I'm going to turn around. I want to see what's over here.
Yeah, you got a curling bomb in front of you, but since the bomber shot at a splat bomb in its face, I guess it just wanted to go towards that instead. That's fine.
Like, ooh, what's over here? No, we got to keep going.
Yeah.
See, here's another squeegee in a little cage here, but we're just going to jump right around him.
Usually, there's like that big long path there that you're supposed to go all the way down so you can try and dodge it, but the hitboxes on them are a little bit generous, not perfect, but it's enough to squeeze by.
No, we don't got time for that. We have to make this snappy.
Exactly. We got cycles to make, yo.
Yep.
Yeah, we got places to be. Pretty good level.
Next up, level 5. Level 5 is a pretty interesting one because it's the first stage that has a lot of grind rails. And those are going to be very nice with the dualies, as you'll quickly see.
Yeah, so this is going to be one of 2 stages in the game that has a lot of grind rails, and these are probably arguably the most fun levels to play in the game, whether you're a casual player or a speedrunner. It's just so fun to go through, just constantly, taking the dualies, grinding on those rails. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, you'll also see that we're doing a lot of these dodge roll boosts. Every time that you dodge roll on top of one of these rails, it can give you a slight boost of speed forward and get you a little further. So since we have nothing else to do on these rails, that's generally the best thing that we can be doing. But coming up, we've got a bit of a skip. It's called a nollie jump. If I shoot this wall at the correct time and jump, it'll keep a little bit more of my speed and height, and that'll let me get up to that section, which saves having to go around the whole intended path, which is about 5 seconds longer.
Yeah, you can't make that with just a regular jump. You have to, do a little setup that carries your momentums, that gives you enough speed to reach that platform right there.
Yeah.
But it's one of those kind of feel-good tricks that it's pretty easy to learn, and I don't know, it's pretty cool to do.
It definitely feels very satisfying.
Absolutely.
You just keep all your momentum.
That is correct. It's also not named after the skateboard trick. It's actually named after a Japanese player that originally got world record with it back in the day. Which is pretty cool. And we're gonna use a bomb to unlock that Zapfish there. There we go. Another one down.
Mind if I sneak in a donation?
For sure.
Absolutely.
All right, we have $50 from the Rainbow Ghost that says, well, I said I'd donate $50 if you died in the first stage, so here it is. You might have died, but this money will go towards helping others not die. So it cancels out your death. Good luck and have fun. You got this.
Thank you, Rainbow Ghost.
Let's see, here we got level 4. This one's not really as intense if you're doing a special trick that you can do in this stage called Rolonium Boost. We're not going to see them in this run just because they're very inconsistent to make. But basically, if you shoot one of those Rolonium and dodge into it at the same time, you can basically get a boost from it, and that will shoot you really far forward. And it's a pretty cool speedrun trick, but it's also very difficult and very precise. So we're not going to do this. We're just going to kind of cruise through this pretty pretty smoothly with some curling bombs. And yeah, there's really not much else, so we can read a few more donations.
Sure thing. We got a $25 donation from King J that says, "Let's go, Talon. Great to see Splatoon 2 getting a second time to shine at GDQ in the hype leading up to Splatoon 3. Good luck on this run, and let's see some Majora's Mask after this run." And on that note, I do want to remind everyone that we don't know which 3DS Zelda game is coming up next. It could be Ocarina of Time, it could be Majora's Mask. Majora's Mask is sitting at $29,018. At Ocarina of Time, $14,353. So keep that coming in. Do we have time for one more?
Go for it.
One more.
All right. We got $50 from Sanachanto that says, "To every runner, to everyone donating, even just the minimum, and of course everyone working hard behind the scenes, thank you and well done. We all work together."
All right, now we're going to be going into level 9. Level 9 is our first Octoling stage, and in these Octoling stages, there's going to be 8 of these mini Zapfish. If I get all of them, that'll complete the stage for us. But it's on one of the multiplayer maps for this game, and these are generally a lot smaller than the other single-player stages, so it's gonna go very fast. Don't blink or you'll miss it.
Yeah, these are some of the probably the coolest levels to speedrun in the game. They're very intricate. It requires a lot of different types of movement. It's very difficult to do these very fast. Just because there's so much thrown at you. These Octolings can be pretty brutal at times. This level is not too bad, closing out with the 34, but they definitely get harder later on. Let's see, and I think we'll be going into the boss 2. Yeah, boss 2, correct?
We got
level 8.
We got level
Oh no,
8
wait, level 8
first.
first. I'm sorry. Yes, one more level than boss 2.
Yeah, so in level
Level
8,
8 is gonna have.
yeah, I'll talk about some further boosting.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I'm going to hold this curling bomb slightly to shorten its charge and hop inside of this furler, and that'll let me get a little bit of a boost of speed there. That's called a furler boost. If you hop in a furler at the correct time as it's taking damage, it will send you forward very quickly. You could do it on a lot of these furlers throughout the stage, but there's only 2 that I'm really going to be going for because there's nice setups for it. So that earlier one was one of the first ones, and then there's going to be a double furler coming up. So as I got these splat bombs equipped, I'm going to throw one right in front of this and get caught in it, and it will boost me forward. And I believe that's about a 5-second time save. Pretty useful, if you ask me. Then we'll get to this ending section here. Normally you're supposed to go on the right side and go take some furlers, but because we have curling bombs, we can go straight through this pack of enemies. I'll just damage boost off of one of them. All right, I would appreciate you. Do not shoot me in the back. Thank you.
All right, we're good. We're good.
Okay.
That
Looked really close.
that was very close, but everything's fine. What are you worried about?
Well, that's what happens when you charge at a bunch of enemies that are shooting at you. But Ian's such a legend that he still survived.
Everything's fine. We have invincibility frames.
Yeah, thankfully compared to Splatoon 1, we if we get damaged enough, then we don't immediately die. We get our armor broken. But getting our armor broken can be pretty lethal because if that happens, then we are then one hit away from getting splat. Enemies can then see us even if we're hidden in ink, and we move incredibly slowly. So getting our armor broken when we don't want it to can be a bit slow at times. This is boss 2 right here, probably the most famous or most speed ran, if that's the right word, level in the game. This guy, he's kind of a joke to fight. He's pretty different just because all we have to really do is just shoot Octo Samurai. And then with the hero shot and its amazing fire rate, we just get to, pretty much beat this guy within seconds. And it's done. Just as I finished saying that.
Ooh, and I got a 40. Very nice.
Nice, 40.
That's
Pretty
1
fast.
second away from the IL world record, by the way.
That's correct. We've been theorizing for a long time how to get a 38 on that stage. And technically, I think with community best segments, it's doable, but it's so incredibly hard that no one's been able to pull it off yet.
Maybe it'll happen someday. Who knows?
Hopefully. Here we got level 10 though. A cool fact about level 10 is that normally when you have like an IL record for a stage, there's only one weapon that's fastest, right? Level 10 is the only exception in the game where both Hero Shot and Dualies are just as fast in an IL scenario. And it's because each weapon has like their own advantages. Like Dualies have their dodge rolls and that helps out in one section, but the range of the Hero Shot helps out in another. And somehow it all balances out, which is pretty crazy. Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting how two different weapons, even though they are pretty similar, can have the same amount of time. I'm guessing it's just because this level doesn't really require too much of one or the other, so that both weapons are equally as powerful in this level. But let's see. Yeah, this level has Octo Seekers, but we don't really care about them. They don't really mean much to us because we can just whiz right past them and we're pretty much gone as soon as they spot us.
That's rude. One of them's got a cycle here. They're special.
Yeah, it's true. We do use one of these to get to a certain section, but he doesn't even notice us. He, for all we know, we were never there.
We're just little ants on his back.
Exactly. Just boost off the fan, and we're at this section.
Yep, thanks, buddy. He helped us with this run, and he didn't even know.
Yeah, so as we go up into the end of level 10, just got another section with the Seeker here, but really he can't do a whole lot. We just get past these sponges and...
Yep, you noticed us, but we gone.
Presto, 139.
Very nice. So World 3 is probably the hardest world, because it's not exactly home to some of the hardest levels in the game, but it's definitely the most consistently hard. Every single level in World 3 throws a different challenge at us. And so World 3 is a very, where a lot of runs can go to die, but
yes.
That's not going to stop this guy.
Yeah.
But one of those first big roadblocks is definitely going to be this level right here, level 14. This one's a doozy. We're going to be using the Hero Shot. The Dualies is technically faster on this level, but it's extremely inconsistent because of the lack of range. So that's why we're going to be using the Shot instead, just because it makes it a little bit more consistent.
Got it.
That trick you saw right there is called Car Wash Skip. It's basically where we damage boost through those ink columns to basically like boost through them. And that skips us from having to wait for them to retract, and then we have to climb on top of the car and everything. It's a skip that saves about 5 seconds, I believe, but loses 20 if you fail it. So if you don't make it, then it's pretty much a reset.
It's like a solid 4 seconds of time save, yeah. But if you miss it, right. It's 20 seconds, and that can be very bad for obvious reasons. Right here.
Not very good for a 1 hour category.
Don't get hit by the snipers, you're going down. Sniper's got a key, you get it to the end. But we kind of like use that platform halfway there to get through that section a little faster. You just have to get careful that you don't get sniped in the process is all. And then this ending section right here is hard because we're gonna have to make some really quick jumps and try to dodge a lot of shots. So hopefully I do not fall down trying to do that. Okay, cool. Hit this bomb over here, gets both of these Octolings, and we out of 14.
Very nice.
Very nice. And I think as we're riding this rail, I think we got time for a couple donations.
Sure thing. We got Dylan Craft donating $50 saying, Ian, seeing you on GDQ, again, is still crazy, but it seems that all those dedicated hours you clock in every day really pay off. Good luck with the run, friend. Smiley face.
Thank you, Dylan.
Also have Wootwee donating $500 saying Splatoon is one of my favorite game series, so of course I save my donation for the Splatoon 2 run. Watching this series speedruns are always amazing. Thank you so much for your contribution.
All right.
They also got Pokachow saying donating $196 saying I wish I had these skills when I was 1000%ing this game.
Oh yes, 1000%. There's actually a speedrun.
Don't even get me started on 1000%.
I got world record at 1000% like earlier last year, and then Obo, just defending the throne over there, had to have 1000% back.
It's my category, man. You know,
Yeah.
12 hours of Splatoon 2, that's my thing.
Yeah, I can't do that. I don't know how you do it with such incredible pace.
Y'all are both crazy for being able to just do a speed run for that long.
You're not wrong. Right
Yeah,
here.
I'm surprised I'm still alive.
As we're in level 12, you'll see
Anyway.
that the dually dodge rolls will send us down very quickly. And that just lets us get down a lot of vertical areas a lot faster. These bounce pads also have weird properties with the dualies, as I can just roll into them and they'll snap me onto ledges and whatnot, which makes them the clear choice for this stage. Dually dodge rolls are very busted.
I just love, you know, if it's just kind of like a war movie setting, it's just like, this is war. The war of the bouncy pads. You're just bouncing around shooting at each other.
Just boing,
Pretty fun.
boing.
It's like, war. War never changes and you're
That's a
just
funny
bouncing up
image.
and down. Alright, anyway, let's see. We got to level 15 next. That's right. Yeah, we get level 15 next. So this is another Octoling level. This one's a lot harder just because the Octolings have rollers now, and they can instantly break your armor with just one sling of the roller if you're not careful. So these guys can be pretty annoying. Oh, like right there, got his armor broken. But luckily, if you touch a mini Zapfish with your armor broken, you get your armor restored. So that's pretty handy sometimes. So you're gonna kind of, that part's always a little bit awkward. You kind of have to hug that wall to avoid the Octoling. And you also have to kind of walk around that, I think it's ink poison,
It's like an ink mist
I believe that's called. Or
Toxic mist.
or something.
All right, everyone, we are having some technical difficulties. Just sit tight. We want the stream to be just as perfect as possible for you guys. So sit back, relax. We'll be back soon. In the meantime, we have a $100 donation. And we're only at 14,639. Keep the donations pouring in. We'll do our best to get it through. Tazel donates $50 and says, I'm simultaneously sad and happy that there are only still... Yeah, I had a feeling. I just didn't want to stop reading. right, once more, we are ready to continue the show. Take it away, Talon.
All right, let's get back in it.
All right, we're back.
3, 2, 1, go.
All right, sorry about that, everyone. Luckily, we paused the run here, so you're not missing out any of the action. All right, so anyway, to get back in this, where are we now? We're level 13 now. We're in World 3, doing the Splatoon 2 NG Plus run. So this level, we got the Charger. So this level, we have these drum switches, which you have to ink in order to move platforms out. Now, the reason why we're using the Charger here is because you can just completely shoot the switch once, and then all the platforms will completely move out just like that. And also, range is pretty good in this level too. You'll see a few cool skips being cut with grappling hooks that you'll see pretty soon. Like right here, we can just kind of skip that section right there with a cool shot of that grappling hook. We'll go there. This is the first time when we see flutters. These guys are kind of like squeegees, but a little more, I guess, simplified. You know, they don't go, wherever they want. They just, move in straight lines. But luckily, we can just kind of, dodge those guys.
You could probably tell by just looking at a flutter, but you really don't want to go under one.
No, you don't. No, you don't want to go under one. It's pretty deadly.
Only a little deadly.
And we can do at the end here, instead of taking this intended path, the Charger has just enough range that I can poke that shot right there and get to the end. That's a really good time.
Nicely done.
Very nice.
All right. Anyone want to explain this next level?
I'll just take it away since there's all the tricks in the world here anyway. The level 11 has not only two really difficult jumps, but it's also got an introduction of a new enemy. So what we're going to be seeing here is these enemies called Tentacooks. Tentacooks are little enemies holding a key, but they like to run away from you once they are aggroed onto. So I'm trying to keep my Charger line away from it until I have to shoot it so it does not run from me. Get the key, go to the next section. Missed that one there, but you can just pick it up with a backup shot. No big deal.
Nice backup.
Let's see. But I've been feeling bad. We kind of interrupted a few times. I apologize about that. Do you want to explain this next trick we're going to do here?
So there's going to be a jump coming up right here. Basically, we're going to hop off of a fence, and by hopping off this fence, we can keep our momentum. Very nice first try.
Beautiful first try.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah, like if you tried to just step on top of the fence and hop normally, you wouldn't have enough forward momentum to jump. But with that forward momentum, we can easily make that jump.
It's a pretty neat trick. You basically just kind of swim into the fence, jump, turn into squid form, then turn back into kid form, and then carry your jump. And it's very weird. It just tricks the game to thinking you're still in squid mode, so you still have the same momentum. Therefore, you can make that jump. It's a pretty interesting little trick there. We got another jump coming up right here. Not as intricate, but just as hard. Got it.
That is
very nice.
Pretty precise jump. You got to jump at the absolute end of that little section, so glad I got that.
Yeah, that one's a little harder than it looks.
Jumping level 1, but way more difficult.
Yeah, same concept, just cranked up the difficulty. Like most things in World 3, to be fair.
That's fair.
You said it, bro.
Yeah.
See, all right, we only got one more level here. We got Boss 3. It's
Boss 3. I love Boss 3 personally. I have the IL record on Boss 3 because I have put far too much time into this stage. So what's going to be going on here? It's the return of Octostomp from the first game, except this time Octostomp's going to have like this extra coat of armor. Won't see it in phase 1 because it just charges at us and Charger goes boop, bang, takes it out like nothing. But as we go into phase 2, he's now going to have this buckle. I have to shoot this buckle 5 times with charge shots. Some good aim, we can take that out.
Very nice.
And then bait him into sliding towards us so it's much shorter, and then we can just take out the tentacle. Not too shabby.
He made it look so easy. But yeah, the buckle has a very weird hitbox. Sometimes even if you're pointing right at the buckle, it just seems like sometimes your shots just won't hit. You know, also we actually retreat down to that lower part so we can shoot the buckle when Octostomp then rises back up, and that's the boss. It's a pretty hard since it's, you know, we're using the charger, so it's so precise.
That is so good.
55, absolutely beautiful.
Nice.
The
That is
record
1
there
second.
is 54, but
Yes.
getting a 55, I missed one of the fall down shots that it's a 5-frame window. But getting a 55 without that is really good.
That's insane, yeah.
Now we're going to be going from one boss to the next. This will be boss 4, Octo Shower. Thing about boss 4, it's got all these octocopters on top of it. And they all have a low amount of health, but we need to take them out quickly before Shower gets scared and runs away from us. Not so hard in phase 1, but as we go into the later phases, it'll be a bit more challenging.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of you, you know, have seen this guy and are probably a little scared, but don't worry. You know, this guy is gonna, you know, he's gonna just, you know, get revenge on all the casual players that this guy has hurt. You're absolutely gonna destroy this guy.
Stands no chance. Phase 3, these octocopters can dash from you, so I'm keeping my charger away from it as much as I can.
Very nice.
Very
That
beautiful.
was super clean. Even got a 40. Just a little cherry on top.
How about that? Yeah, so
Next up.
we're in World 4 now, by the way.
Yeah, this is World 4. Next up, we're going to be going into level 20. Now, if you're starting to learn speedrunning for this, I'd recommend you use the charger, but this is not my first rodeo. I'm going to be using the hero shot. This weapon's pretty dangerous. I need to be playing within about 1 second of perfect for the first 40 seconds to make a cycle. There's 2 different paths to this stage. There's right side and left side. Safe, if you're going safe, you do left side first. This is not safe. We're doing right side first. Right side's got this invisible pathing right here. I know where all of it is. Might look scary at first, but got it all memorized. It'll all be fine. Grab this key at the end and try not to get hit by any of these enemies. Okay.
Yep, just like you did there. No, I'm just kidding.
We're gonna
It's
see how
alright.
this works. I might lose 15 seconds. I might not lose 15 seconds. We're gonna see what happens.
Yeah, might not be able to make the cycle here, but that's okay.
I'm
The
gonna
cycle is
try
basically this
something.
flutter guy that's moving back and forth. Oh, wait, I think you could still make it, maybe?
Not quite.
Oh, so close.
Fortunate.
Yeah, I got shot
yeah,
there,
it's
so
like-
I missed the cycle.
Yeah, that was a
Basically,
very...
we just want to go on the right side and then go over to the left here, and then usually that flutter would be right in front of us, ready to go, but
Since I got hit halfway through the stage, I dropped the cycle and couldn't get on top of it. So I had to wait for it again. No big deal, honestly.
just a little unfortunate it happens.
Yeah. Can't say I didn't try, though.
Yeah, you definitely
You
tried.
did. And to be honest, that was a weird moment back there, because that you know, that enemy pretty much shot you through the wall. It's definitely seemed that way.
Yeah,
it's,
that's kind of just how things go with invisible walls.
you know, when you play Splatoon 2, you gotta get used to stuff like that, because there's always you're always gonna encounter a moment where just like,
Okay.
oh, the heck did that happen?
I was a little sloppy at the end, but we make it through.
Yeah, you just barely have enough range to reach that fan and skip the key section right there. So that's why you had to sort of like jump and lean forward a little bit to get some shots on the fan to bring down the Zapfish.
That's right. Now we're going into probably the most dreaded stage for speedrunners, level 19. Someone like to take it away.
You want me to explain this one?
Go for it.
Go ahead.
All right. Well, this one is probably the most tedious level, besides the final boss, but we'll get to that later. So if you thought 2 paths was bad enough, how about 3 different pathways, each one with its own key that you have to collect. Each one kind of has a different challenge. This one that we're doing first is the middle pathway. It is the easiest of the bunch, so we're going to do that first. Just gotta get these grappling hooks there. It's pretty cool what he does here. You could actually reach the 2 grappling hooks because the range of the hero shot is just barely enough to reach that. Let's see if we're going to do in left next here. So this one, he's going to basically do in a cycle skip. It's a bit complicated, but I'll try to explain it the best I can. So he's going to throw a bomb after he defeats some octocopters that will trigger a switch. He's going to throw down a bomb where the switch will appear, and then that bomb will activate the switch, and then which will activate another platform, which will reveal another switch, which he will shoot as it's rotating around right there. Very nice.
Got it.
Yes.
Nice.
The reason why he threw a bomb there is because if he shot that with his weapon, then the switch will activate earlier, and the platform will activate earlier, and that cube will rotate around. So he would probably miss it by the time we got there. So he has to wait for it to rotate all the way around, which takes time. So that's why we do that. A bit complicated, I know, but
Next up, right side, we got some enemies with shields, so we can just kind of shoot over them from a range to just get past them. We're going to have some switches at the end of this, and once it does, this whole platform is going to rotate, and we'll have to backtrack. Like so. Now, when this momentum is moving this platform, throwing a curling bomb will pretty much put it at a 45-degree angle, so it'll do nothing for you. But now, we're going into this last part. It is a field of giant squeegees. There's a key on the left side, and a lockbox on the right. So we got to try to get this key and then get back on top of one of these squeegees. I already don't like where this is going.
Come on, squeegees.
All right, sure.
Yeah, this section is probably the most infamous in the game, just because these squeegees do not seem to do what you want to do. It's probably because there's so many enemies that the squeegee's like, oh my gosh, there's so much going on. So they want to check everything out, but we don't got time for that. We have to get to the key, then get to the super jump pad so we get in the level. And there we go. He eventually got there.
I didn't die at the end, so I would say that's catastrophe avoided.
Absolutely.
You're able to back that up pretty well, so.
Yeah, I have had multiple times where that just does not go well for you.
Yeah, I couldn't have responded better to that myself.
Now we're going to be going into level 16.
That's correct. So this one, we have these little bowling ball guys. These guys, they have a weird hitbox. They can be... it's pretty damning if you get hit by one, but because they have a really weird knockback, and since these platforms are so thin, then getting hit by one can half the time pretty much result in getting splat. But we can avoid them. We got the dualies, we got the firepower, we got the dodge rolls. So I think Ian's gonna be just fine.
Yeah, halfway through this stage is a global cycle with a platform rising. In this category, cycle's pretty free, but in any percent, not so much. But I just have to wait here because extra time on the cycle, no big deal. And then last section, we're gonna have a massive octoballer coming towards us that we need to make sure to not get hit by. Doesn't really get that close to us, honestly, with fast dualies movement. That almost got in my way, but now it's fine. Yeah,
this section right there is a bit scary, just because it almost seems like there's a bowling ball it's gonna be right in your way. Yeah, all these yeah. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
That guy.
Yeah. All those ballers are on a global cycle, so depending on where you are, they'll usually be in the same place. Speaking of global cycles, this next level right here is 17. It doesn't necessarily have, like make or break cycles, but it does got a lot of platforms that are spinning in a circle constantly. So usually if you go at the right pace each time, then the platforms will be in the same place. But it could be a bit uncomfortable if you do fall behind, because then the platforms will be in a different position, and then you don't know what to do. So your whole groove is thrown off. So luckily, I think Seems to be going at a good pace so far.
This is perfect so far. My goal right here is to not have this Gatling gunner ink this as I climb up. That's perfect. So I should be able to make any cycle I want to now. Let's do some dodge rolls on this part.
See, and then up here we have to go to get another key. It's going to be on top of these guys called the Octostomp DX. Whoa, careful there. Oh yeah, that guy was like, oh, I'm about to end this guy's career right here. But not today.
That was an Octostomp on a mission.
Oh man, I have died there from those guys because like when that guy hit you, my life flashed before my eyes.
Oh, that was terrifying. But now I'm going to take the right side here, and we're just going to try to make the platforms as we see them. That little bit of knockback definitely threw off some cycles, but still pretty fast.
Yeah,
pretty good.
That ain't gonna set us back. No, Still 131. That's a pretty good time.
Not too shabby. Now we're about to go into level 18, and Crank, do I have a surprise for you? Because this level is basically just a big auto-scroller and like 2 different areas. So if you want to shoot off some donations, now would be a great time.
I love auto-scrollers, and so do our donators. We have a 2022 donation from Adept, that's $20.22, saying, it's so exciting to see the best Splatoon 2 category, definitely not biased, shown at AGDQ this year, and presented by 3 most influential people on my development as NG Plus runner. Shoutouts to Obo and Nobobin for their X-Rank comms, and to Ian. May your motions be swift and your cycles be fast. And that you, Yop, String Rate, Skip, and Super Jump your way to an Octavio with good RNG.
Thank you.
But when you get there, I hope you stick the landing. Best of luck to the rest of the runners in this year's event. Thank you so much.
Any more? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, Adept is another runner of NG+. He's the fastest guy who you actually use his stick controls, which is... I know all you competition players out there are going to be like, what, sticks? But, being pretty good at something that's pretty unique, it's always a win in my book. So, shout-outs to you, Adept.
Yeah, and as we get past these snipers here, we're going to get on another auto-scroller moving platform, so go for a couple more donations.
Sounds good. We got Hobbs Luke donating $20, saying, hello, Ian. Hope this run goes well and that you get good luck in Octavio, and remember that the house is on fire.
Oh my god.
Let's see. We also have a $56 donation from Bolt that says, here's a dime for every hour I've played Splatoon 2. Smiley face. Best of luck on the run. We have a $100 donation from Spider Roll that says, question, why did the Inkling move out of their apartment? Answer, it wasn't woomy enough. Everyone, I am a sucker for puns. The floodgates are open. Keep those puns coming in. I would gladly love to read more.
Oh, I get it now. No, I'm just kidding.
Puns are great.
Let's see, you can read a few more.
Sure thing. We have a $250 donation from Eddie Spaghetti that says, I don't know what real gamer percent is, but I know it is essential to GDQ, life and universe at large. We need it. Thank you very much. That is, of course, in reference to our Zadet incentive, the real gamer percent. That's 1,311 out of 5,000. Get your donations in for that soon.
All right, we're going to hop into level 21
and that was donations
now.
to level.
Donations to level, exactly. Level 21 here. Notice something, comp players? A very friendly stage, Mori Towers.
This stage sounds like there's fun to be made.
Of course. We actually have a lot of fun with this stage. We have a lot of fun with this stage as speedrunners because the dualies make this very fast and just fun to move around in.
Yes, all the fun happens when the stage is on.
Yes, exactly.
So we got dualies here. This stage is not too bad. We just got, Octo Snipers because, it's Moray Towers. So obviously there's going to be many Octo Snipers trying to, take us down. But we too fast for them because, we gotta collect all these Zatfish. There's a boss fight that needs to be defeated.
Would it really be Moray Towers without extremely long sniper range?
Oh
I
yes,
don't think so.
I think Nintendo knew what they were doing there when they put in
Of
Ultra
course.
Snipers. There's no way they didn't. And I think that
Alright.
concludes World 4.
That is it for World 4. Now we are going to be going into level 23, my favorite level in the game. I used to have IO world record for this. Back in my day. But yeah, level 23 is another grind rail stage just like level 5, and the movement for this is so satisfying to do. So I'm just gonna cruise through this.
Yeah, this is probably the most fun level to speedrun. I think we can all agree that this level is pretty cool, whether you're a speedrunner or a casual player. It's just always just fun to go through. And it's called the Octo Galaxy. You know, I'm sure a
All right,
reference
then.
to Super Mario Galaxy. Best game ever made. If you think Super Mario Galaxy is the best game ever made, then make sure to donate. And let me know. Alright, donations for Galaxy. Anyway, so these, we're going to be dodge rolling some incoms coming out here. There's a little cool damage boost that we can do right here. Just use that damage boost to fling to the next grind rail. He's actually getting a dodge roll on the side of that platform there without kind of, without squidding into the platform, into the ink. You just do a dodge roll.
Ooh.
Then kind of zoom down there. Almost fell off, but he didn't.
That was very close. I'm gonna do another nollie jump here if I get the timing correct. There we go.
Nice knowledge.
Thank
That
you.
was similar to the jump back in level 5. Not as risky, just a little bit. Saves a little bit of time just to get immediately on that furler.
Yes, tasty frame save.
Yes. Same setup, just used in a different way.
And I'll damage boost off of this ink stick. And I time that roll. Try to go there a little bit faster. And then this last part's gonna have a bunch of Octo Snipers, but I am just simply too fast for them. They cannot keep up.
They'll be just spinning around, trying to keep their eyes. And they'll just never shoot until right at the ending.
They didn't even get me at the end. Wow.
No, they didn't get the chance, man.
Now we're
see
going to
it.
be hopping into the last Octoling stage, level 27. Now, if you're going to be a person who plays safe here, you'd pick up some armor so you could just take a hit, but I'm pretty confident in how I can manipulate these Octolings, so fast route, here we go. See if I eat my words or
am
not.
not one of those people. I prefer to collect the armor just because I don't want to get splat by these guys, because if you do, then you'll be taken to the very beginning. So, you know, I don't know about you, but I like to play my runs a little bit safe, so I don't have to reset so early. Reset will always find a way, but I prefer
Early?
it to not be a...
Oboe, we're like 50 minutes in now.
Maybe for you.
Oh yeah, near route players be like.
Yeah. Again, it depends on what route you're using.
Oh,
Oh, careful there. Just go up left side. There we go.
I didn't want to go up too early because the blaster
That's
was going to take me.
That's why you get the armor.
I ate my
Yeah, it
words.
was a very dangerous situation there. If Ian had tried to climb up the furler, like the blaster would have probably splatted him. And that, like Obo said earlier, that would have just sent him right back all the way to the beginning of the stage. You had to get all the way back
am
over
a
there.
trained professional. Everything is fine. You do not have to worry.
Yeah, I mean, he still got a 46, so what do I know? Anyway, going into level 22 next. This level is, I wouldn't say the hardest, but it definitely throws a lot at you. They're very hard enemies, always going to try to shoot you at every possible turn. Right here, we're going to throw a bomb to try to get rid of that, I think it's just one of those,
Twinticle?
Twinticle, thank you. And then we got some invisible platforms right here with an octopod charging right at us.
Yeah, I think it tanked the side of my curling bomb, so it got flung towards me. Surprised my armor is intact after that one.
Yeah, it's
But
like
hey, everything's fine.
everything's fine. Got some grind rails, gonna be doing some more dodge rolling. And here we got a Tentacook that we have to get another key from. And he's going to be going on more invisible platforms. But luckily, he does create a trail so we can kind of see where we're going. I'm just going to get rid of it right there. It's important that we kill him just before the key box. Not because it's optimal, just because afterwards, if you go, there is some platforms that he can go past if we don't kill him then. And so then we have to kind of try to track him down, and that could take a lot of time. See, back there we had some more enemy frenzies that we had to destroy to move on. Got some Octo Commanders here, just shooting frantically at us. Well, we can
I'm gonna try to do something a little crazy here.
Here we got some squeegees. We have to make this level even worse. Oh, he's on the squeegee.
IL ending.
Very nice.
Beautiful.
That is a pretty cool trick right there. What he basically did is he shot the enemy just as he was landing on top of the squeegee. And because it always starts in the same position, so if he got on there at the right time, then he can just bounce right from there onto the platform holding the Zapfish. So that trick is not easy, but he pulled it off like a pro.
That is not for the faint of heart, especially at the end of your run.
Oh yeah, at the end of a hard level, at the end of a hard run. But we're not done yet. We still got a few more levels left. This one is number 26. This is the bowlers are back. They want revenge. And this time they're on top of each other, charging right at us with even skinnier platforms to balance on. And they're turning this time. So we got a few cycles here. But they don't really matter too much. But their placement can definitely matter if we need to cover some extra ground.
Oh, okay. That is a classic, oldest trick in the book. That is seam eat, and what happens there, in between two different seams as I was trying to move, my curling bomb got caught in between them, and it just made it magically disappear.
Yeah, the ground just went boom, and just really ate our curling bomb.
Tasty curling bomb.
That place is like one of the areas where it can happen pretty much the most often in the game, I feel like.
Yeah, I think it happened again earlier in the run too. We didn't call it out then, but yeah. If you
that one was just too obvious for me to not say anything.
Yeah, I think we all know what was going on there.
Of course.
This section here is a bit tough. We're going to use a ink storm actually. It's basically going to hit the switch right here on the left, so that way we don't have to touch it. It's already kind of taken care for us, and we're going to weave around these giant bowling balls here, and that's the level. Not too bad. Usually we kind of play it safe there at the end. There is some faster strats to kind of go through that section, but we usually play it safe just because we're at the end of the run and we don't want to mess up. So, and it's very easy to get hit by those giant bowling balls. And again, getting hit by one almost is a one-way ticket to death.
Yes, now we're getting into commonly agreed upon the hardest level in the game, level 24. There's a ton of moving platforms and a lot of moving cycles in this stage. And the first one is going to be right away. This platform over here moves if I get too close, but if I ink the end of it and then curl towards it, I can just get over there. That works. Sure. Yeah.
At least we didn't die. Because yeah,
it could have been way worse.
No, that was a good backup there. That ink pattern was a little bit off, so he couldn't get up there. But I think you can kind of see what he was trying to go for. But yeah, dying there loses a lot of time. So that was a good backup. We will take it.
Everything is under control. Do not worry.
Don't panic.
You're a trained professional. You got to.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's been doing this for 4 years now, so he's seen everything now.
That cycle I just did there, Sanko cycle. Usually you would have to wait 2 different platform cycles there to get up, but I just used one instead by using the left side and a tricky jump. Now we got this cube up here. 6 sides to ink, and then this one moves the platform down here. Let's just grab the key, and then I'll get us out of here. Get me out of 24.
Yeah, this is one of the harder levels in World 5, I would say. very
Oh, for
easy
sure.
to just mess up.
Yeah,
and
we got the
lose a lot of
charger,
time.
so yeah, you know it's a pretty precise level. Have to make some pretty precise shots, but it's definitely it's very hard to do well as well. And I just said well twice, but that's okay. We got one more level, level 25. This one is not as hard, but it's definitely hard to do at the end of a good run. You got those nerves going. You don't want to mess up. So this one is another one that has another level that has a global cycle. This first part could be hard because we have to retrieve another key, and we have a bunch of enemies that are trying to stand in our way. But we gotta push right through them as we're doing right here.
The curling bombs are great for getting them scared of you and getting them out of your way.
Yeah,
So I
definitely.
use 2 different curling bombs to keep them away from me. Then I'll just try to weave through all of these shots that are be coming at me. Try not to get hit while you are jumping. That can be very bad. Hit both of these switches. We're just going to open up this big metal door.
Yep. This stage is
then-
called Platform Madhouse Mind the Gap, and I'm sure by the last section you can see exactly why.
Yeah,
So
I
the-
take out all of those enemies with like piercing shots. When you have like a full charge on the charger, it pierces through multiple enemies, and it makes that section a lot faster. All right, I think I'm fast enough. I'm gonna try to go for this end cycle here. This might be
Okay.
close, it might not be.
Well, maybe. Is this platform right here that's going up and down? Oh, barely
okay.
made it. Very nice.
That
That
was
got a little close because of that armor break.
that armor break was so early. I thought I was screwed, but hey, I got through. Everything's fine.
Inspirational.
The tears are flowing. Anyway, another ring switch here. If you just keep full charger shots on it, it's gonna keep moving. Not too shabby, yo. And
Didn't have
now,
enough ink for a climb bomb, so I had to shoot that. All right. It is time for the final boss, DJ Octavio himself. Let's see.
Of
Who wants to
course,
explain
our-
this guy?
I'll explain some of the starting attacks on what happens in DJ. So
Alright,
the
go for
problem
it.
with DJ Octavio is that a lot of this is actually luck-based. There's going to be 2 different main attacks you'll see here. There'll be straight punches, there'll be spin punches. The straights, as you'll see, we can hit them back and do damage. The spins, we cannot hit back to do damage. There's 3 different main phases. You got to do 8 damage in each, and I am just gonna style around here because a lot of the time I just can't do a whole lot in this fight except pray. But the nice part about this is that NG Plus is a pretty flexible category. You can do worlds in pretty much whatever order you want. So if you wanted to get this fight out of the way right away, you absolutely can do that. I'm more so doing this fight last because, you know, end the marathon run off with the final boss as the last boss. It just makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah, if you want to, run this category, and if you want to just do this boss first, get the RNG out of the way, you can totally do that. That's the cool thing about doing NG+. But yeah, there's not too much going on in this boss fight apart from just kind of sniping out these fists, the glowing fist. You have to get 8 in order to end the phase. There's 4 phases total. Each one has a slightly a little exciting feature than the last.
Yeah,
and
so
avoid
I
the
got a
spinning
little
ones.
unlucky here. So Octavia's going to throw out this shower attack, which just goes to the end trying to catch you in its massive span of ink. But if you get a shower in the first 2 phases, you're generally just a little bit unlucky. In phase 3, technically you can avoid the shower, but it's never happened before. The odds are so incredibly low.
Yeah, there's usually going to be at least 1 shower in phase 3. But
Yeah,
usually
so
the
now-
best way to kind of deal with that is to kind of lure Octavia to the side of the stage, so that way he covers less ground than if you were, say, in the center of the stage. But that's the best thing you can do there. But Ian showing off his incredibly, powerful and precise charger skills, because you made this, weapon in multiplayer, right?
Sure, I definitely play multiplayer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we totally play multiplayer.
I'd be terrified to go up against this charger in multiplayer.
With its incredibly fast charging speed. And my
never get a chance to get
optimal
close.
jump squid bagging as well.
Exactly.
You would be the most loved person in the battle.
But of course.
Sure.
All right, that's enough to get me out of phase 2. Perfect. All
I
right,
think we
phase
can read
3.
it. Phase 3, yeah.
Just more dash attacks. If we want to do a couple donations before we get to the very end of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Good time.
Sure thing. We got Pro Kara donating $10, saying, "Good luck with the run, Talon. I hope Octavio is nice to you."
Well, not so much,
Not
but it's
so much,
fine.
but we appreciate you blessing us with your donation.
We
Exactly.
have a $100 donation from Rice Krispies that says, "Loving another GDQ. Love me some Splatoon. Favorite weapon is definitely the paintbrush. Thank you to everyone on the team and runners for giving us something to watch at every hour of every day."
You snap, cracking, and popping. I'm sorry, I couldn't resist. Anyway, keep going.
Sure thing. We got $20 from Grover House that says, "Hey Ian, how many Rush albums are on the wall behind you?"
That's a good question. I think I've lost count at this point.
Quite the collection.
But usually, a good way to tell is after the fifth fist. That's a mouthful. Then a text box will actually appear. So that will kind of give you a little indicator of where you are in the number of fists that you've shot back. So here we are. This is the final phase. We got the Rainmaker this time. We're gonna this time get on top of some ground rails. We're gonna spin around Octavio, and then we're gonna shoot those fists right back at him. This one we just gotta shoot those glowing fists and then avoid the spinning fists. You know, it's a little bit of anticlimactic, but you know we got those sick beats of Calamari Incantation. You know, keeping us pumped.
We're straight up vibing. But as we're finishing up this fight, I'll just give out my few shout-outs right now. I want to give like the biggest shout-out of anyone to Thundy, the current world record holder for this category. He is absolutely cracked and has kept me running in this game for probably longer than I ever should have. So thank you, Thundy. Continue competing with me and keeping me motivated. And just a general shout-out to everyone in Splat 2 Speedrunning Discord. Y'all are amazing. And if you want to catch me doing Splatoon 2 runs or Splatoon 1, which I'm going to be doing soon, I will be at twitch.tv/TalonTrodNeil. Anything from you two that you'd like to say before we wrap up Octavio?
Yeah, so shout outs to the entire Splatoon speedrun community. You guys know who you are. It's still a pretty small community, so if you want to, stop by the Discord, you can find it on the speedrun.com site for Splatoon. Just pop in, ask us some questions. I'm sure we didn't, mention every single thing on this run, but, that's okay. If there's anything you have questions about, feel free to contact us, and it's a pretty welcoming, friendly site, so,
time is when we pick up the Zapfish after the slam, so it's not yet.
Yep, so time's going to be pretty soon, right here when he collects the Zapfish. And
that is time.
Very nice.
Cool. Not too shabby, yo.
Yeah, 520 out of 10. That's actually not a bad RNG. That's pretty average, I would say. No,
and
not
any
great,
shout
but
outs
not
from
bad
you,
either.
Nabobin?
Sure. Yeah, just shout outs to the Splatoon 2 speedrunning community. I just joined it this year, so they've been nice and welcoming this whole time.
You found so much in this 1 year, it's insane.
Yeah. And I guess that's pretty much it.
Where can people find you?
Y'all can find me streaming on Twitch at twitch.tv/Nabobin. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, you can also find me on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, all under the name Obamaster Ozzy. I also do runs of this game. And also 1000%, which is a 12-hour category, which is super fun. You should definitely check out. And you should definitely consider running it as well, because it's so much fun. All right. Yeah.
But I think that is all from us. So thank you, everybody, for watching the Splatoon run. And enjoy the Zelda block coming up. And that is it from us.
Yeah, thank you to GDQ as well.
All right, congratulations to Talon on that incredible run. After that much action, I think I need a break. We'll be right back in a brief moment. All right, everyone, welcome back. We got a lot of incredible stuff coming up, like a wonderful set of words from our sponsors. That's right, we're talking about Power Up Audio. That's right, it's Power Up Audio, the indie sound studio from Vancouver, Canada. They worked on some incredible games. You might recognize a few of them, like Celeste, maybe Cadence of Hyrule. Incredible audio work on both of those games, I gotta say. In the past, they've handled audio on-site for GDQ, but for HDQ 2022 Online, they decided to design some sounds for the new GDQ overlay system, and an incredible job with that. Check them out at powerupaudio.com. And also check out their upcoming game, Tunic, at tunicgame.com. Welcome back, everyone. I'd like to tell you about a $250 donation from Kindlejack that says, "Tonight, my 2-year-old son said, I love AGDQ. Well, he might just hate bedtime, but I do indeed love AGDQ. Thanks to all the staff and runners for another awesome start to the year. Less than 3. Sounds like we have a runner in the making." On that note, let's find out what makes our runners tick. I'm gonna go ahead and send it off to the Awful Block interview. Take it away.
And welcome back, everyone, to Awesome Games Done Quick 2022 Online. I am Spike Vegeta, and I am joined by 3 gamers that I'm just going to throw this out there and guess they like to have a good time. How do I know they like to have a good time? Because they're here in the most fun-loving part of the entire marathon. That's right. Get hype, everyone. It's time for Awful Block. I'm done with the popular stuff. I'm done with the big, polished AAA titles. I want this stuff from the bargain bin that I don't know how these gamers found it. I am joined by LV Creed, Faizu, and Final Flame. Gentlemen, how are we doing tonight? We'll start with LV Creed.
We're doing great. I'm looking forward to what's going to be happening in Awful Block. Is going to be awfully delightful, if I should say so myself.
Faizu, for you?
Awful Block is stacked this year. I'm doing really well. I'm thrilled to be a part of it.
And Final Flame, finally you.
I'm doing great. Just questioning how I've ended up here. I think I took a wrong turn somewhere.
I was about to say, I know some of you have been running games over the years that very much not considered in the Awful Block. But to go through each of you, again, we got LV Creed, who's going to be running Mega Man 2. If that sounded like Mega Man 2, then y'all are on a maybe right track. You'll see later on. Faizu is going to be running The Simpsons, Bart's House of Weirdness, I believe, was the name I had written down. My bad. Yeah. Yes, I got that right. Yep. I wanted to make sure before I went on. And then Final Flame will be finishing off this set of 3 runs here in the Awful Block with Sonic Jam, in parentheses, game.com version. Again, we got a bunch of weird ones for you here. We always like to bring it in Awful Block. And I want to go through each of the 3 of you, just your story, because everyone always asks, where do they find these games? It's usually with speedruns. Where do they find these tricks, these frame perfect things? Where did you all find these games? What is your story of how you got to GDQ, running them at Awful Block? LV Creed, I'm going to start with you.
Well, honestly, I really don't try to find awful games. Me being a Mega Man runner, mostly on the fan game ROM hack side of things. Sometimes they just come to you, and there are a good number of them out there. But Mega Man 2 just kind of came at me, just kind of in the wind. All of a sudden, I looked it up. It just clicked with me. It just has the right amount of stupid that it just kind of just clicked with me, and I've been in love with it ever since. Pretty much just almost speed running from day one. So it like I said, it's just one of those things that's wound up connecting with me.
I'm going to talk to members of the games committee later who are just be like, so why'd you pick this game for Awful Block? It had the right amount of stupid. It was just the perfect amount. LV Creed, I love you. Thank you so much for being in this interview with us. Faizu, how about you? How did you find this Simpsons game?
With a lot of things in Awful Block, it's technically Brosensu's fault.
Yes.
For those who don't know, Brosensu runs a game show on Twitch called Cusa Grande, where people play games, bad games that they've never seen before, for an hour. And I help out. I go and find games. And I was dumpster diving through some DOS stuff, and I found a Simpsons game I'd never heard of before, which was this one. And I tried it out, and it was terrible. Kind of charming, but terrible. And after I finished it, I was like, I bet I can do this much faster now that I know what I'm doing. And then we just started slowly whittling down the time from there.
And Final Flame, as for you, again, running Sonic Jam, again, the Game.com version. Where'd you find this sucker?
So initially, a fellow Sonic speedrunner had learned it for a 12-hour challenge a few years ago, and that's the first time I had heard of it. Took a quick look at it, I was like, this is pretty bad. I'm not touching this. Yeah, okay. So come on to an event called Retrothon in 2020. A joke had been made about the Gamecom. I don't even remember what the joke was, and something clicked in my mind, like, I know a game on the Gamecom. I should check this out. And the rest is pretty much history from that. It in somehow.
I gotta tell y'all, these, there's some awful games that I see that I'm like, okay, you know what? I see it's more weird than it is like bad, but like I'm looking for something funny to go in the Awful Block. These three games just look absolutely awful. I just want y'all to know, just seeing the footage of all three of them, they look beautiful. I want to know from everybody in chat at the end of this, which one do you think visually was the most interesting, looked the best? I don't know. But I do want to ask you all, because I've never believed that anything in media is just 100% bad or 100% good. It's never just black and white like that. For each of you, what is something about your game that you're running tonight that you think is unironically done really well? And we'll start with LV Creed once again.
Well, with it being a parody of Mega Man 2, I think you gonna focus on the graphics and the music, of course. It was a big step from the original Mega Man, but when you compare the original Mega Man 2 to what you're gonna see in Mega Man 2, you're gonna kind of see that the graphics and the music are kind of interesting, for the lack of a better word. So let's talk about the graphics just right quick. Imagine kindergarten drawings using Kid Pix, for those that remember Kid Pix back in the day. But also, the music, oh, if you are a fan of Kazoos, oh my goodness. I have a small little thing I like to say, shout outs to Kazoos. That's all you're getting from me. That's all you're getting from me.
That was in my notes for each of these runs for the interview I took. I just wrote Kazoos, question mark, about 12 of those. So yeah, definitely looking forward to that. Faizu, for you, what do you think your game does well?
I actually think it does a couple of things well. Considering, like, early 90s DOS games, it looks pretty good. But in terms of mechanics, they actually tried to make each of the levels genuinely distinct and interesting. And going back to Mega Man for a second, it kind of pinches a bit of the DNA there, because you've got 6 levels that you can do in any order. You get permanent upgrades for beating pairs of them. And, they didn't just make a generic platform game. They actually put some effort into doing things a little bit different, which that's to be applauded, I think.
100% agreed there. Final Flame for you.
I think the best part is actually the graphics within a limitation of what the Gamecom can do. If you look at the actual sprites in the game, they are very similar to the Genesis counterparts, and they're actually really, for the most part, well done. As long as you don't mind black and white.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. About to say, it gives definitely a little bit of a Game Gear vibe to it. So definitely looking forward to all three of these runs. I just want to ask y'all one quick lightning round question before I let y'all get back to maybe sleep. I don't know, getting ready for your run. LV Creed, what do you think makes a perfect Awful Block submission for all of us in the future that would like to submit for it?
Of course, you can bring a considerably bad game into it, but it's like I said, you gotta have the right amount of dumb throughout all of it, and of course, it being a speed run, you gotta have a good amount of interesting tech to go along with it. You'd be surprised with a game like Mega Man 2, the amount of tech out there is actually kind of interesting. So, like I said, the right amount of dumb and about a good amount of balance of speed teching, you got yourself a pretty interesting situation for an Awful Block entry.
Beautiful answer. Faizu, follow him up.
I kind of help out with Big Bad Gameathon occasionally, sort of sorting through the game submissions. So I've seen a lot of awful game submissions. And what I tend to look for, honestly, is something that can actually hold interest throughout. Like, there are a lot of bad games that are bad because they're just repetitive and samey and the same thing over and over again. And they're not a fun watch. And that's the balance you've got to strike, I think, with a submission. It has to be a game that is notably bad, but is also something that people just want to keep watching to see what else it does that's interesting.
Two great answers so far. Final Flame, bring us home, my friend.
For me, it was a case of, and I can use my game as an example, people were looking at it, heard I wanted to play it, and were trying to convince me, no, nobody should ever play that. Go away. Stop. I'm going to remind you of this quote you said down the road. That's when I knew I made an awful choice.
That's awesome. I want to thank all three of you for joining me. Again, everyone, there's way more than 3 games in this Awful Block. Always, for a lot of people, their favorite block of the entirety of the year. Hope you all enjoy Awful Block coming right up here after this 3DS Zelda bid war. Let's bring it home, everyone. Enjoy some more Awful Games Done Quick 2022.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope everyone is ready for our one of the most anticipated runs of this evening. We do have our 3DS Zelda coming right up. Real quick, I would like to tell you about an $86 donation from Amanda that says, I'm so excited to watch Gymnast 86 speedrun Majora's Mask 3D, the objectively better Zelda game. What you gonna do about it, OOT fans? I don't know, OOT fans, we got a couple of seconds to squad up. And on that note, I think we are ready to go. Everyone give a big round of applause to Gymnast 86 for our next 3DS Zelda game.